Welcome back to another episode of Change Wired podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your partner in change, your host, your coach for personal and impersonal and collective transformation, and just someone who is really, really obsessed with human potential, with growing personally and collectively as the world, with doing our best, and also, of course, failing and learning from our mistakes, because there is no growth, no newness, no evolution without trying things that might not work. But that being said, there are things that have been shown to work better. Like when it comes to health, when it comes to a body composition transformation, when it comes to becoming the person who looks your best with the right muscle composition, fat percentage, like the way you want to look, it makes you also feel a certain way. So there are better ways of getting there than, let's say, getting on some fat diet that you can't really maintain and really sucks and compromises your long-term health and makes you feel emotionally and mentally also drained. Like that is not a good way of getting into the best shape of your life, because it's not sustainable. You're going to hate it, and it's probably not even going to get you where you want to get in terms of your health and of body composition, how you look. So in today's podcast, you are in for a treat. I'm doing this experiment where I taught AI on my weight loss, fat loss, specifically body recompositioning frameworks for, again, getting into the best shape of your life and staying there, specifically working on your hunger and making sure that your eating habits support your aspirations, the way you want to look, the way you want to feel. And a lot of it is not about eating. It's about other pillars or foundational health pillars that need to be taken care of, like, for example, stress regulation, in order for your hunger to support your goals in health, your goals in fitness, your goal in body recompositioning. So I created this episode with AI. I taught my frameworks that I used for 18 years, not all of the 18 years, but for many years, with more than hundreds of clients, helping them to create lifelong habits that last, to get into the best shape of their life and stay there. And I am a personal example that this works. I have probably a decade of dieting under my belt, trying all these different ways of trying to look and feel my best, starting in teenage years. And then I found precision nutrition and nutrition coaching and scientific evidence-based approach to designing our habits. And I did it to myself, and I never looked back. I'm always in exactly shape that I want to be, and health and concerns about my looks or my energy levels or my fitness levels are never an issue. Not in the way that I can influence. Obviously, everyone can get sick, but when you take care of yourself, you get sick less, and doesn't affect you, your life in a big way, and you get through it much faster. But anyhow, so looking and feeling your best has a lot to do with your eating habits. Your eating habits have a lot to do with your hunger, and your hunger is something you can actually control and influence with certain behaviors. So without further ado, my AI experiment, you're going to hear two AI hosts walking you through in a very engaging way my concepts that I help hundreds of people to get into the best shape of their life and stay there, including myself. So tune in.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are plunging into a topic that really determines the success or failure of almost every long-term health goal, and that's mastering hunger. We're not talking about temporary dieting, not just calorie counting. We're looking at the crucial difference between fighting your body and designing a biological system that actually works for you. And I think for anyone who has been through that cycle of restriction, then rebound cravings, that willpower, it eventually fails. Our source material today really cuts straight to the core truth, which is that most attempts to manage weight fail because they create a biological fight. So the mission isn't deprivation. It's about creating a body that naturally feels satisfied, energized, and, in control.
That is the key shift right there. We have to stop viewing hunger as some kind of weakness and start seeing it as data. Yeah, it's just a signal, and it often indicates a mismatch somewhere in your system design. So our mission today is to transform that signal. We're going to unpack these 6 pillars. They're scientifically proven methods for keeping hunger predictable, controllable, and progress steady. We're moving the whole discussion from like moral failure to biological alignment.
I love that. Okay, so let's start at the foundation with the immediate input. Pillar 1, essential nutrients. This sounds basic, but the sources emphasize a really critical point. You can be full of calories, but still biologically starving.
It sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? But it's a quality control issue, absolutely. Think of your body as constantly searching for specific building materials.
Okay.
So if you give it 2,000 calories of, highly processed, nutrient-empty food, it registers the energy, sure.
Yeah.
But it also flags a huge deficit in things like protein, fiber, omega-3s, key vitamins, minerals. So the system stays on high alert. It just keeps firing off hunger signals, basically saying, hey, keep eating until you find the zinc or whatever it's missing.
So it's an unsatisfied search party.
Exactly. And protein and fiber are your main levers here for feeling full. Protein, for example, takes more energy to digest. It has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. But the real magic is that it slows down how quickly your stomach empties.
Right, so food just stays in there longer.
Precisely. And that delay gives your gut time to release these key fullness hormones, like cholecystokinin or CCK, and peptide YY, PYY. If you don't have enough protein, those signals are weak, or they arrive too late.
So it's not just about hitting a protein number for the day. It's about structuring the meal around it to kind of manage the timing of everything.
That's it.
What about fiber? I mean, we hear fiber and we think regularity,
Right.
But how does it specifically manage that immediate hunger feeling?
Well, fiber is your structural viscosity. It
Yeah.
provides a physical drag in the digestive system. A sugary drink is gone in an hour. But a meal rich in fiber and protein, that's churning for 3, maybe 4 hours.
Wow.
And then there's soluble fiber, which is critical because it feeds your good gut bacteria. And those bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs.
Okay,
Right.
and these SCFAs, they travel to the brain and signal satiety. They're another powerful internal appetite suppressant that we just, create ourselves.
So that really upgrades the actionable tip here. It's not just eat protein. It's build every single meal around the combination of protein plus fiber plus healthy fats. It's about addition, not subtraction.
Nailed it.
That leads perfectly into pillar 2 then, food volume. And this is where we really defy that old diet mindset. The sources are so strong on this point. You should eat a lot. You should feel physically full and still be on track with your goals. How does that work?
It's the magic of volume without the caloric density. So your stomach has these stretch receptors, and that physical stretch is one of the most immediate I'm full signals you can get. It happens even before all the hormones kick in.
So you're tricking the system a bit in a good way. You're using the system's own rules. We get that stretch by using whole foods that are naturally high in water and again high in fiber. Think about it. When you choose foods that give you big volume but low energy, a massive salad, a bowl of berries, spinach, cucumbers, you physically fill the stomach. You feel full because you are physically full.
Yeah.
But the energy delivered is really low.
The sources call out fruits, vegetables, potatoes, and beans as nature's original appetite suppressants. Now, I think some people might hear potatoes and pause. They've been so demonized by low-carb trends. What's the deep dive insight there?
That's a great question, and it's all about something called resistant starch. So when you cook and then cool certain starches like potatoes, rice, beans, a portion of that starch actually changes. It crystallizes.
Into resistant starch.
Exactly. And your body can't digest it in the small intestine, so it acts just like fiber traveling down to the colon where your gut bacteria have a feast. And that fermentation process, it releases those beneficial SCFAs we just talked about, which boost satiety hormones like GLP-1. Plus, the sheer volume of a whole baked potato is just way more satisfying than the same calories in chips, right?
No question. So the actionable tip there is just non-negotiable. Make half your plate colorful plants. It's an instant upgrade.
An instant volume and fiber upgrade, yes.
All right, so we've built the food foundation. Now let's talk about the lifestyle factors that can just completely sabotage even the best diet. Pillar 3, sleep as a fat loss tool. We all know lack of sleep makes us feel foggy, but how bad is the hormonal impact on hunger?
Oh, it's immediate, and it's disastrous. It's a hormonal triple whammy. It's not just that ghrelin, your hunger hormone spikes, and leptin, your fullness hormone drops. That alone is enough to send your cravings through the roof.
But there's more.
There's more. Poor sleep, say less than 7 hours, drastically increases your body's insulin resistance the very next day.
Very next day.
The very next day. And when your cells are resistant to insulin, glucose just stays floating in your bloodstream. Your brain reads that as, we are starving for energy. This biological scarcity mindset, it overrides all logic. It makes sugar and simple carbs look completely irresistible. You cannot out-willpower that.
So if someone's getting a chronic 6 hours instead of 7 or 8, how immediate is that shift? Is it a slow decline or is it a cliff?
The research shows it's really acute, especially with insulin sensitivity. Just one single night of 5 hours of sleep can mess with your insulin sensitivity by 20 or 30% compared to a full night's rest.
That's staggering.
It is. And that drives immediate, intense hunger. Your stress hormones rise. So you're starting your day already hormonally stressed and insulin resistant. Every single food decision you make after 10 a.m. is already compromised, aiming for that 7 to 9 hours. It's just non-negotiable system maintenance.
That really redefines sleep. It's not just recovery, it's a metabolic intervention. Okay, let's move to pillar 4, movement and strength training. So beyond just burning calories, what are the dual benefits for keeping hunger stable?
There are crucial hormonal benefits that stabilize the entire system. First, there's the acute effect of exercise. High-intensity work, especially strength training, temporarily boosts stress hormones, like norepinephrine, which actually suppresses ghrelin right after your workout.
So you get this natural window of appetite control.
You do. And second is the long-term effect. Think of muscle as a metabolic sponge. It's where most of your glucose gets stored and used. So the more lean muscle you have, the more stable your blood sugar is all day long, even when you're just sitting at your desk.
And stable blood sugar means stable energy.
Which means predictable, lower hunger. We want to avoid those blood sugar crashes that trigger that panic hunger feeling.
So strength training isn't just aesthetic. It's essential infrastructure for managing your hunger signals.
That's the perfect word for it, infrastructure. And don't forget just daily movement, outside of the gym. Maximizing your neat non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Things like walking, standing, even fidgeting. That keeps your metabolism flexible and helps prevent big hunger swings. The tip is simple. Strength train 2 to 3 times a week and build that daily movement on top.
Excellent. Okay, now for pillar 5. Stress regulation. This is the big one, isn't it? We live in a chronically stressed world, and our sources show that stress can just override all these other signals we've talked about.
This is the cortisol connection. This is the engine of emotional eating. When you're under chronic psychological stress, cortisol goes up, and your body acts like it's constantly preparing for some kind of physical emergency. And that stress burns through your immediate glucose stores.
The fuel in the tank.
Right, specifically your liver glycogen. And the brain's response to that is to demand immediate replenishment. It leads to these massive, intense cravings for high sugar, high fat, quick energy foods.
It's an adaptive response.
Purely adaptive. It's biochemical. You're not lacking willpower. You are responding to millions of years of evolutionary programming.
That brings up a really important question. Stress affects the nervous system, which connects directly to the gut through the vagus nerve. So is there a direct link between that chronic stress and how well those satiety hormones, PYY and CCK, actually work?
Oh, absolutely. The gut-brain axis is everything here. Chronic stress actually changes your microbiome. It impairs how well your gut moves and communicates. A stressed nervous system is just. It's less able to accurately send and receive those delicate signals of fullness. Leptin resistance gets worse. Gut hormone production goes down. So regulating your nervous system is literally regulating your ability to feel satisfied from a meal.
So what's the solution?
The solution is consistent, tiny, daily stress hygiene. We're talking simple things that activate your parasympathetic, your rest and digest nervous system. Breath work, a 10-minute walk in nature, journaling, setting boundaries at work. These aren't just feel-good fluff. They are biological interventions that keep cortisol in check. And because of that, keep your appetite predictable.
This is an incredibly comprehensive framework. So we've covered food, sleep, movement, stress. Now the final piece, pillar 6, light, mindfulness, and support tools. This is about optimizing your environment, right?
Exactly. This final pillar is about inputs we often just completely ignore, starting with light. We talked about sleep, but light is the primary regulator of your entire circadian rhythm.
Which controls our metabolic timing.
It controls everything. Getting 10 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight outside, not through a window, acts as a powerful metabolic reset button. This early light exposure times the release of cortisol, which should be high in the morning, and melatonin, which should be low. If your circadian rhythm is off, you get metabolic misalignment. You're more prone to late-night snacking and cravings, even if you ate perfectly all day.
And then there's mindful eating. I mean, in our world, eating in front of a screen is just the default. What are we losing when we do that?
You're losing the satiety latency window. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for those fullness hormones, your CCK and PYY, to get produced, travel to the brain, and fully register the message, okay, I'm full.
15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. So if you inhale a huge meal in 8 minutes while you're distracted by emails, your brain is still operating on the assumption that you might need more fuel. You end up overshooting your needs and then grabbing for dessert 5 minutes later because the signal just hasn't arrived yet.
So eating slowly, chewing, no distractions. It's just a tool to give the brain time to catch up with the gut.
That's all it is. It's non-negotiable for lasting satisfaction.
That makes perfect sense. You're just manually giving the system time to register all these inputs.
And finally, a quick word on supplements. After you've built this whole foundation, supplements can fill specific gaps. Things like magnesium for sleep and stress, a quality protein powder to hit your target, electrolytes maybe? But the philosophy is absolute. Food first. Supplements are for fine-tuning. They are not the engine. They can't fix a system that's broken by bad sleep or chronic stress.
A perfect summary.
So when we step back and look at all 6 pillars, from the quality of your food to the management of your internal chemistry, we realize that long-term progress isn't luck. It's not about having superhuman willpower. It's the careful, systematic alignment of your biology, your behavior, and your environment.
It's a really powerful way to look at it because it reframes the whole struggle. It's not a test of your moral strength. It's an issue of system design. You're designing a system where the right choices feel easier instead of constantly fighting your own biology. So with that, here is the final provocative thought we want to leave you with. Given that real success requires alignment across all 6 of these pillars, which single pillar, whether it's dialing in your essential nutrients, finally getting those 7 to 9 hours of sleep, or starting a simple daily stress regulation practice, which one presents the greatest opportunity for you to create a positive cascade effect across all the others? Pick one pillar this week, focus your effort there, and just see how much easier the rest of the system becomes.
And here you go, my AI experiment teaching you 6 pillars of working on your hunger so you get into the best shape of your life and stay there. Just like more than 100 people that I helped to do exactly that all around the world, including myself. So choose your pillar, work on it, and stay tuned for the next episode when I'm going to teach you 3 S's, a systematic approach to making all of this stuff that you just learned into habits that happen consistently and that stick with you for life. So stay tuned for that. But don't forget to also let me know how you liked this experimental episode. Did you like my AI co-host? Maybe you like them even more than you like my a little bit less structured approach. So stay tuned, and also don't forget, guys, to help me to share and spread this knowledge to more ears eager to grow all around the world. We are a global podcast, so when you share, no matter where in the world you are making some part of the world a little bit better through that person who, because of you, gonna listen to podcasts like this. So let's share, let's change the world together. Until next time, keep working on you, keep growing, and keep changing the world for the better.